Monsters in Texas. How are you?
I'm good, Matt. How are you?
I'm fine.
That's awesome. How are you doing, Jim?
Doing just fine.
Awesome.
So it says here, that you're a theist of some pagan description, and you wanted to talk about the deities and how you view them.
Yeah. I look at them as a construction. That's something we build, and they only exist within the context of people's perception and in the media about them. And I'm aware that that's not a satisfactory existence for a lot of people.
It's not existence. For me. It's not existence.
I realize that. Semantically, you're correct. That's not existence.
So you don't believe that the deities exist?
I believe they have a very limited domain, but I think it would also be folly to say that Spider-Man doesn't exist within the context of his media.
Spider-Man does not exist. No, you're confusing the map with the place. This is Monsters. This is a common fallacy. You are confusing the map with the place. Spider-Man does not exist. The concept of Spider-Man exists. The deities that you're pointing to do not exist. The concept of the deities exists.
I understand that, Matt.
All right. You say you understand that, and yet every time I let you speak, you try to suggest something else. So go ahead.
I'm saying Spider-Man doesn't exist in our world, but it would be folly to say that he doesn't exist within the context of the comics.
Yes, no. I'm sorry, but Spider-Man does not exist within the context of the comics, because within the context of the comics is not an extant thing. You are confusing a concept of Spider-Man, which is presented in the comics, and that's not existence. So do you believe so you're saying that you don't believe in deities?
No, I said I believe in deities.
Okay, so where do they exist?
Do they have to exist here in meat space that we share in order for them to exist?
Yes, that's what existence is. And also it says here that you believe that these deities have tremendous power, right?
They have tremendous power on the people that think about them and interact with them.
How can they have power if they don't exist?
Object. The same
concepts,
they're not true.
Concepts can impact people. Concepts can influence people. But to say that a deity exists as a concept and that it has tremendous power, it's not the deity that has power, it is the concept that has power. And the concept only exists as a brain state. It doesn't exist in reality either. So what is it that you find useful? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to ask the question. What is it that you claim to be a pagan who believes that deities exist and have power, but they don't actually exist, and concepts have power? So I believe that there are deity concepts, and I believe that those deity concepts can have power, but I would never be a pagan. I would never be a deist, because I don't believe that they exist in reality.
Sure. I don't know why we would expect them to exist in reality.
Oh my God.
There's very little to suggest.
Stop wasting my motherfucking time.
An atheist background.
Oh.
Sure. I agree. Why would we expect them to exist in our space? I don't know, because that's the way they've always traditionally been presented. And there are plenty of people who do. You might as well have called in to suggest that Yahweh doesn't exist in reality, but it's a concept that's impacted people. And congratulations for graduating from your freshman year of literature. But it has nothing to do with what exists in reality. I'm interested in people who believe for real that gods exist, whether it's Jehovah or Thor.
Yep.
I never, ever want to do the Welcome to the Concept Experience show.
No.